Hello and welcome to the British Gaming Podcast. It is the 29th of September 2015. I'm Sam. Over there is Richie.
Good evening.
And then we've got the bundle of fun that's Terry.
Yo!
Terry is officially like a DLC pack. Anyway. We've got a couple of...
a compliment or an insult?
I'm not entirely sure.
Hey, I'm the king of on-the-spot analogies.
Yeah, true. We've got a few topics to cover today. So, first of all, as always, what we've been playing. Then, my question of the week. Followed by the organisers of MCM Comic Con want to run a new show focused on gaming called Gamer Mania. There's an Indiegogo, which is basically Kickstarter, for a console called the Retro VGS, which I think we're all looking forward to digging into. The Sonic Hacking Contest 2015 is officially open, so those of you that don't have Mario Maker, play around with hacking some Sonic games and releasing some levels. Oddly enough, both Call of Duty, at least the PS3 and Xbox 360 version, and Rainbow Six Siege have been revealed to have no campaign mode. LEGO Dimensions is out, and it costs a ridiculously large amount. And on the 3DS, we're getting something called Nintendo Selects, which is basically platinum versions of Nintendo games. Then, of course, we've got your fan questions, of which I believe there are about 11 or 12.
That's a lot.
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot to look forward to. We may as well not waste any time with what we've been playing this week, so I'll kick us off. I've been playing more Dragon Ball Xenoverse. I've actually beaten the main story, seen the credits. I can now make other characters, which is, heads up people, you will not be allowed to use your other 7 character slots until you've beaten the game at least once. So now that's unlocked a hell of a lot of optional quests and various things I can go do. Apparently there's a secret Broly saga I can go unlock and stuff, so that'll be fun. I will very soon be playing Grand Theft Auto 5 on PC, thanks to Terry, basically, being awesome. That is currently downloading to install. I've paused the download so that we can record the podcast, but by tomorrow morning I should have that, so then we can do like British Gaming Blog heists and stuff.
And if people want to have a quick taster of the dumb stuff that happens in GTA 5, they can always check out my YouTube compilation, which doesn't feature you two, to be fair, but
no,
it's a similar sort of taste of what's to come.
It is a good idea of what would come with that, yeah, absolutely. And Chris, what else have I been playing? This is cheating because it's not a video game, but it is a game that's been running on Facebook, which is actually a lot of fun. One of my friends, Randy, she shared it, and it's basically describe the ending of a video game without giving away what the game is, and then people have to guess what the game is.
That is kind of like... you can end up reading a spoiler there.
Well, I put, you're falling at terminal velocity while a space station blows up, but it's okay because your best friend catches you with his plane because fuck physics. I think you two know what game ending that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, Sonic's already at terminal velocity. Tails hitting him with a plane is not going to save him. If anything, that's just going to splatter him all over the sky.
Yeah. Well, it took you out of the realism of, that hedgehog that runs at the speed of sound.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's been a really fun game, just back and forth. And if any of you watching want to put one in the comments for us to guess, I'm more than happy to then next week sort of we'll go through what the endings are and we'll try and guess what game you're talking about. And yeah, that's what I've been playing this week. So over to Richie, because he's my favourite.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind. What have I been playing? I played some more Batman, and I thought I'd got up to the bit Sam was really excited for me to see, but I don't think I actually have, according to you.
Well, the bit that you've gotten up to, and people watching, the game's like 5-6 years old. If you're going to cry spoilers, you're a bit late. I assume, because you said to me I got to the bit with Bruce's parents, so I assume
Yeah,
you
when
got
they
to
get
the
shot.
morgue. Oh, so
when they get
he's
shot
in the alley.
before that, yeah, when they're in the alley and they get shot. I haven't got
Right.
as far as the next bit. Yeah, I then did the whole platforming bit afterwards, the hide and seek bit.
Right. Okay, so if you did the alley bit, then... No, you haven't done the bit I'm thinking about yet.
Okay.
Because the bit you've seen wouldn't explain why Adam kept resetting his console and getting frustrated.
Right, okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's yet to come then. What else have I been playing? More Binding of Isaac, as always. Finally managed to beat the game as Maggie on hard. That is a lot harder than you think it is, because she is slow as shit.
Ooh.
Well,
Speaking of, I put up a Spelunky Let's Play this week. So it's like an hour of me playing Spelunky.
Cool, we're plugging
so
a lot
that's,
already, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. It's fine.
it's fine. It's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And at the weekend, I got to play on my sister's Wii U, and I played some Woolly World, Yoshi's Woolly World. Very
awesome.
fun. It's really fun, actually.
It looks like a cross between Yoshi's Story, which was amazing on the N64,
And
and
Kirby's
Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it feels like. It feels
Then
very
I want it.
reminiscent of Yoshi's Story, as you say. Same
yeah.
sort of gameplay, same sort of physics. And it's got a co-op mode as well, which made it even more fun.
I
Oh,
need
that's
it.
amazing.
Yeah.
Is it true that if you tap the Sonic amiibo to it, you get a Yoshi that looks like Sonic?
Yeah, well, we did it with quite... Because obviously I showed you the pictures of her amiibo. She's got loads of them.
Wasn't it like
yeah,
27?
I estimated it was about 280 to 420 pounds worth, depending on whether they paid a tenner per figure or 15 per
Yeah.
figure.
Yeah, no, we tapped quite a lot of them on there. The Olimar one is one of my favourites because the back of Yoshi's neck looks like 3 little Pikmin. It's fantastic. You'll have to try and find a picture of it. It looks absolutely brilliant.
That's
Nice.
amazing.
But yeah, that's about it for me. Over to you, Terry.
I've been playing some more Mario Maker, and I finally uploaded my first level. And it's on our Facebook page if you want to check it out. It's my first attempt, so it's not going to be that great, but I think I did a
Do you
good job
have
of
the
making
level
it challenging.
code?
Yeah, the level code is on the page. I'll also put in the description for the video as well, because I cannot read it all out here. There's like
Okay.
20 characters or something.
No, it's fine. It's
I
fine.
still want to see a recording of it, even if you don't put it on YouTube. I want to see it. I want to see your level.
Yeah, I don't have the game, and I want to see what you made.
I'll give it a try. I don't have a capture card, but what I can do is I can just put my camera on the tripod and just sort of do it.
Yeah, that
way.
works for me. That works.
Yeah, I mean, it'll look awful, but it'll do the job.
It's not going on
Yeah.
the internet, so
Well, I've got a decent enough camera, so it'll be fairly okay for a camera rip, I guess. What else? I've been playing Silent Bomber, and in the interest of plug, I'm doing a Let's Play on that as well. Silent Bomber is bloody amazing. Like, that game has aged so well. I didn't play this game back in my childhood. Bear in mind, this is a PlayStation 1 game. It was around the end of its life cycle, around 2000, but it's still quite old, and it plays so smoothly. Everything is just so nice on it, and you basically just go around blowing everything up. That's all you really do, but it works so well.
He's
The boss fights are
gushing,
great.
isn't he?
I really am gushing.
it's nice to hear some passion in his voice.
It's kind of creeping
It's not
me
about
out.
porn for a change.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. I'm
All the
completely
parts of
flaccid.
that
It's all
so
good.
far- all the parts of that so far are on www.britishgamingblog.co.uk, right?
Indeed, all of them so
Yeah.
far, and on my own YouTube channel as well. And
Yeah.
finally, I've been playing Batman Begins, the game.
Oh dear. How is it?
It's weird. Like it kind of feels like a much more primitive version of like the Batman Arkham games.
Really?
Yeah, it's really weird. I mean, when I'm playing it, all I keep thinking is, I wish I was playing Arkham instead. To be honest, it's one of those games where I picked up for £1 out of curiosity, not even £1, 99p, just because I'd heard people talk about it, saying that it was kind of like an early sort of kind of foreshadowing of what Arkham was to be, sort of thing. So I was like, I'll give it a go, and I can see what they mean.
Yeah, so it's got a little bit of the way there, but not quite.
Pretty much,
fair
yeah.
enough. Yeah. Okay, so moving on to my question of the week. Cheat codes, we've all used them. We've all felt guilty about using them. What? Yes. What made you, as far as using cheats or exploits to get past a tricky part of a game, when were you most disappointed in yourself for doing that?
I'd say the save state exploits on the emulator when I played Sonic Blast on my Let's Play of that.
Okay, fair enough. Richie?
I'm going to go with the fact that, I don't know if you remember, there was a PlayStation 1 game, a Star Wars game, The Phantom Menace. That game was really, really difficult. So I used to use the invisibility cheat just to play through it because I just couldn't do it. And I felt a bit bad about it because I never really gave it that much of a try. I just kind of was like, oh, I can't really be asked.
I'm surprised that you didn't beat me to what I was going to mention, which was Die Hard Arcade, going in and
playing that bloody battleships thing game.
That the submarine-y kind of mini-game. Yeah, because the more you play that, the more extra lives you get for the main game.
Yeah, so that did cheese it, didn't it?
Yeah, I just sort of built up like 99 or so lives.
I thought it was about time I gave an answer that wasn't Die Hard Arcade, so...
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of other things, like the Final Fantasy 13-2 on the Xbox 360, when I had that. There was an achievement for running a set amount of miles. Oh. And I'd done all the other achievements.
When you're done, I thought of another one.
Okay.
Me too.
I'd done all the other achievements, and there was just that one left to go, and I was just running back and forth, so I went to bed, and I left the game on with a rubber band around the analog stick, just like tying the analog stick to the controller so that she was running in a circle. Came back in the morning, the achievement still hadn't bloody popped. And she was just there still running in the same circle.
Wow.
At that point, you don't dare stop it, do you? Just in case the second you do is the second it's too late.
Yeah, I know. And that, I felt kind of... I think that's one of those... Like, it wasn't to beat a difficult part of the game, but it was to churn out an achievement that I felt like I should have had by that point. Like, I felt like I was being punished for being too efficient at the game and doing everything else before then.
Isn't there one like that in GTA 5 where you have to run so far?
I don't know, but...
an achievement in that as well for the same thing.
Oh, fuck that.
The reason that felt bad was I just stared at the screen, stared at my controller, which, was plugged in so it didn't run out of battery, and just looking at the rubber band and the screen like, what have I become?
An achievement whore.
And then I stopped caring about achievements and trophies. Like, I can narrow it down to that specific moment. That's when I was like, fuck it. What was your other one, Richie?
Oh Christ, now I've forgotten now. Oh yeah, Viva Pinata, Trouble in Paradise. There was an exploit on that game. Basically, one of the items you could buy for your garden was a wishing well, and there was a guy that lived down the wishing well. I can't think of his name. And what you do is you chucked money down there, and he would chuck up gems. But there was an exploit that if you chucked in 999 coins every time, he would always chuck up more. If you had like a special item called a lantern next to the well, it increased the value of what came out. So
the gems would be worth more than the money
every single time. So you just chuck them down, more would come up, and you basically ended up with infinite money.
Nice.
I have the ultimate one for
I exploited that so badly.
Ultimate one for infinite stuff, missing no in Pokemon.
Yeah.
Infinite rare candies, just, here you go, my team's all level 99, yeah, it's proper legit.
I've got one, and it's something that was not even an exploit, it was part of the game's design. Super Mario 3D World. Yeah, you die enough times, you get this white Tanuki suit that makes you invincible.
Oh, that happens in 3DS Super Mario 3D Land. You get like this golden raccoon suit thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just makes the game really easy.
Yeah, it really does. And to be fair, it's kind of easy as it is already. I mean, like when you compare it to Mario 64 and like the Mario Brothers games, it's piss easy.
Yeah, true.
Fun as fuck. I love that game, but Jesus.
Well, speaking of Mario, I mean, we already talked briefly about Mario Maker, and the Sonic hacking contest is on the docket. So, yeah,
that was a little less of a subtle segue. That was.
Oh, that was just. You know what? I can't be asked for subtlety today. It's too much bloody effort. So the Sonic hacking contest is exactly what it sounds like. So you can find it at shc.sonicresearch.org/Sonic, just in case it hadn't mentioned Sonic enough times. So the competition opened on the 24th of September, so 5 days ago. You have until the 4th of October to submit your entries, and then once it's submitted, you can have up to Sunday the 11th of October to refine it. So basically, you have to have a version submitted by the 4th of October, and then you can tinker up to the 11th. I was actually quite tempted by this. I thought, yeah, this could be fun. Let's have a fiddle and have a play. Terry, don't you dare.
That's what I say every night.
Yeah. I bet Sophie's really pleased about that. Anyway.
Don't always have to involve her. It can be a solo project.
And we're on porn. Anyway.
And it's not even been me that's brought it up the last few podcasts, I might add.
Well, you've been rubbing off on us.
Literally.
God damn.
Come on, that was quite good for me.
That's what she said. Hey, no. Carry on.
Anyway, so yeah, I opened up the tools. I opened up SonEd 2, which is like the map editor, and HivePal, which is the palette editor. And I was intending to have a little play around and see what I could make. The documentation and everything else, there's like no YouTube videos on it. It's all the documentation is plain text, no screenshots. No way. Not happening. I can't get on with that at all. I know I gave you guys a heads up because you're massive Raging Sonic fans. Did either of you have a look or consider giving it a go?
Not really. I've got Mario Maker. I'm sorted.
I'm going to have a look now, though.
You're going to have a look now. Right.
What was the link again?
So it's shc.
Yeah.
.sonicresearch.org.
Oh, God, slow down. Yeah.
/ Sonic.
Got it, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, alright, carry on.
Yeah. So Richie's going to have a look at that now, and I guess we'll come back to him to see if there's anything there that interests him.
Probably not.
No, probably not. So actually, because obviously this is quite retro, Super Mario Maker is quite retro. If you've got a hankering for retro gaming, you can currently put some money down on something called the Retro VGS. None of us would recommend it, but you can put money down on the Retro VGS.
191 people have.
Yeah, 191 people have put down a total of $63,546 US. That is over the course of the past 10 days. So that's an average of 19 people per day and $6,355 per day. It's got 36 days left to go, and they're aiming for a total of $1,950,000. So, by my calculations, based on their current trajectory, they're not going to reach that goal.
Especially as at the start of a Kickstarter in Indiegogo, that tends to be like where the boom really is.
Right at the start and right at the end, usually.
Yeah.
In the middle, there tends to be a
The
lot.
guy's picture who's on the Indiegogo does look really smug as well, doesn't he? That little picture under the main video.
I don't know, he doesn't look like a gamer, does he? He looks like he should be surfing or trying to sort out someone's car.
Yeah, see, I thought he should be like down the pub with a pint of old ale.
Yeah.
Talking about them damn kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just having a look at the picture of this system. It's an Atari Jaguar.
Yeah, it is. It's this is the great thing about this. At the moment, they only have a Jaguar case, which they've then plastered their logo on. They don't even have a prototype right now. Basically, this system is meant to have a chip on board which will, on the fly, reconfigure itself based on the cartridge that's inserted. So if you put in a Mega Drive cartridge, it will reconfigure to a Mega Drive, NES, Jaguar, so on and so forth. So, interesting little story. They don't actually have that chip. There's a guy called Kevtris who he made, you know, the analog NT Nintendo consoles that went out with the HDMI ports?
I think so. Yeah. Are these the ones that supported like NES and SNES games and like multiple?
No. This was NES only.
Oh right.
And this is like basically a $500 NES with HDMI out. Yeah, it's sort of aimed at the high-end collector market, basically, which I think is the same people this is going after. So the Kevtris, the guy who made the HDMI board for the Analog NT, he revealed that actually this chipset, this board for the Retro VGS, was something that he'd just been playing with, and he'd managed to get working. Like, he had a prototype. He managed to do it for a couple of thousand, and he was then in talks with these guys about them using it. He's since pulled out, so these guys are still trying to raise funds for this prototype. They've got no board, because they don't have Kevtris anymore. They literally have a bunch of Atari Jaguar shells, and then they've got the controllers that they're shipping with it are these really cheap third-party Wii U Pro controllers.
Oh god, I've seen. Yeah, you're right. I've seen these. They actually sell these ones for the Wii U. It's got like a little SNES controller shape on it.
Yeah, and all they've done is slapped like a decal of the Retro VGS logo on it.
They are ugly, those controllers, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean the Jaguar isn't a pretty system either.
They don't look very. They don't look very comfortable to hold. They look like a really odd shape.
I mean, they look better than the Atari Jaguar controllers. Those things were a mess, but still, that's not saying much.
The Atari Jaguar as a whole is a mess.
Yeah, there's a reason it died a painful death.
So in addition to doing classic games, they also want to take some indie titles, for example, Shovel Knight, and put that on a cartridge, which can then be played on this console. Now, can either of you two see what the problems would be with that?
Well, for one, a lot of the time indie games are download only these days due to the cost of publishing physical media. And physical media is expensive enough to publish when it's optical media, which is a hell of a lot cheaper to produce than cartridges. So that's one massive problem there already.
You've got high cost. Yeah, that's one. I feel like a school teacher here. Richie, can you figure out what number 2 might be?
No.
I'll give you a hint. It's related to high cost. What do you do if something's high cost to make your money back? What are you hoping for?
What the hell are you talking about?
Return on investment.
Right.
What, investors and things like that? Wait.
What I'm talking about is a low install base. So this thing is going to be aimed at a niche within a niche. I mean, there's only 191 people who've actually plopped money down and said they want one of these. So you think, like, if 400 people buy this thing, for example, and even half of them want Shovel Knight, that's only 200 cartridges.
Exactly. It's just a stupid idea. I mean, if people want to buy indie games, they're just going to buy them on their consoles that they already have, or Steam that they already have. There's really massive install bases on both, on both parts. Really.
Also, Steam, get it for a tenner. This cartridge base, you'd have to be paying 50, 60.
It seems like at this stage they should be focusing more on their main goal rather than promising things they might not be able to deliver on.
Yeah.
It seems like they should just ditch this idea completely because it's retarded.
We've also got no patches because it's on a cartridge.
And surely the kind of people who are going to buy something like this, either as a gift for someone who likes old games or something like that, isn't really going to care about shovelware.
Well, I wouldn't call Shovel Knight shovelware at all. Far from it. But, so, no patches for a game. So what happened to Shovel Knight recently? Free DLC. If the cartridge for this was already out, you wouldn't get that free DLC, would you? Because they'd have no way to update the cartridge.
They could do lock-on cartridge.
Yeah. Been done before.
Here's what they're claiming as well. They're claiming that games won't need patches because they're going to be thoroughly tested before release. Thoroughly tested by who? I mean, the indie games they're looking at are a couple of people in the teams at most, yeah? Like, guys of 3 to 5 people working on these games. The people actually behind the Retro VGS I can't imagine they're more than 10 people. None of them probably have any QA experience. So who's doing this thorough testing? And also with the complexity of games, even indie games these days, you are not going to find all the bugs.
Exactly. I mean, I know I'm kind of jumping the gun a little bit here, but this really ties in with one of the questions we got. You mind if I bring it up now?
I do.
You do mind?
Yeah.
Oh, it really ties in perfectly with it. Right. Well, I'll tell you what. Well, I'll make reference to this when we mention that question later.
Yeah, hold on to it. We'll call back to this. I promise. I just wanted to talk about the other sign that this is not going to go very well. Have you had a look at the reward tiers?
No.
So
let's have a look.
$299 gets you the console, the Retro VGS. Okay.
Yeah.
So $399 gets you a bronze Retro VGS.
Oh wow! Oh no,
yeah.
I want the gold one.
The gold one is $449. Yeah, it's all they care about is different color variants of the console.
That's brilliant! Brilliant way to get a profit margin. Spray it gold instead of bronze. Get an extra $50 out of people.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like, who's gonna... I mean, this has got a low install base anyway, and it's already going to be one of those little unknown things. I can't see this gaining much popularity. So, who the hell would you show that off to? Oh, Frank, you've got a gold Retro VGS. That sentence is never going to be said.
Yeah, it's
all
like,
your
what
friends
the
will
fuck
be
is that ugly
over.
gold thing?
Yeah, who the fuck's going to be jealous of it? It's going to be, what's that gaudy piece of shit in the corner? Oh, don't ask. That's going to be how that goes.
Yeah, but it's only $500 and you can get one with a really low serial number.
Oh, yeah. And 11 people have bloody put down the 500 for that. 11 people.
Friends and family, I reckon.
Yeah. You know what, Terry? Yeah, sort of. We'll go with the question. The fan question is from our friend Peter. He asks, what do you think the Ouya team did right, and what do you think they did wrong? So, Terry, blow us away.
Well, one thing they did right that these people are doing wrong is the fact that they downloadable games and the fact that you can update the bloody games. That's one thing they did right. All the things they did wrong, install base. We've covered that with this console.
Yeah.
Generally, just not really having a sort of good exclusive library right out the gate. I mean, like, when you're buying a console, you're buying it not just for the big popular games like Call of Duty and stuff, which, by the way, you can't get on these platforms either. That's another thing, lack of AAA titles. But also the fact that it... you know what? I just can't facepalm any more than I am right now with these ideas. I mean,
all right,
I've just been reminded of another one that came out a couple of years ago, the Neo Geo X Gold. There was another one like that too.
Well, the Neo Geo X Gold, I think, is a different kettle of fish. The Neo Geo X Gold, obviously collectors still want an actual Neo Geo. The Neo Geo X Gold, I guess it's sort of like an alternative for those who are curious but didn't want to spend as much. I mean, the games for the thing are still expensive.
Loads. It's like
not as much as not as much as the actual thing.
Seriously, damn.
Yeah. I think if we can get back to the Ouya.
Yeah, carry on. Another thing as well, the fact it uses Android. Awful.
No,
idea.
okay. Right, here's where I stand with the Ouya. Initially, it sounded like a good idea. Here's an open source platform for indie developers. Where it went wrong, for me, was that it wasn't really a viable alternative when you could already indie publish to things like Steam, PSN, and Xbox Live Arcade without too much pain.
Yeah, it basically did everything wrong that XNA did right.
Yeah, essentially. You had the low install base, you had the lack of exclusives. The controller is the least ergonomic thing to hold in the world.
I don't know, I still think it's better than the Dreamcast controller, but that's not saying much.
Fuck you. You put a Dreamcast controller and an Xbox 360 controller side by side, and you see how many things they stole.
Oh yeah, no, it was a good starting point, a good prototype, but it's still horrible.
I just think anyone who ever complains about an N64 controller should have an Ouya controller put in their hands.
Yeah, I agree there.
Yeah, it feels cheap as well.
There's no rumble.
Yeah. And on the one side, you see this open source platform and you think, oh, that's awesome. But then you also realize that piracy is as simple as copy-pasting. So the lack of protection sort of bit it in the arse. You had very few legitimate purchasers.
It was selling to a market that wasn't really there at the time. It was unfortunate. As you said, it was a nice idea, but it's just something that it couldn't do anything you couldn't already do with what you had.
Yeah. One of the things as well that I said was a plus, that is actually a minus as well, is the amount of system updates. It was ridiculous. It was worse than the PS3.
That's pretty bad. And this is the PS3 in its heyday, not the PS3 now. Yeah. So, Richie, do you have anything more to add on the Ouya?
Not really. I didn't really follow it, but it's one of these things that it's, as I said, it's a nice idea. As you said, it's a nice idea, but it just doesn't do anything that I couldn't have already done with my PC or with my Xbox or. Well, if I wanted to play an indie game, I could do so easily. I don't need it.
I've bought the Android version of Sonic 2, and I was like, I really want to play that with a controller. So I just installed BlueStacks on my PC and played it with my Xbox 360 controller. You know, it's not like
it's just so much easier, isn't it?
Yeah. Speaking of games hardware and software, there might be some things on show next summer in the Excel Centre London, because the creators of MCM Comic-Con are making a new show called Gamer Mania, which they're aiming for it to be like the UK's equivalent of Gamescom or E3 or the Tokyo Games Show. I have some reservations about that show. So full disclaimer, I've been going to MCM since 2008. I met my other half, Joe, at my first MCM. I currently sell my comics and my artwork at MCM shows, both the Birmingham and London ones, and I really want to check out Glasgow because I hear good things from my friends who sold there literally a weekend ago. Now, there is an MCM pretty much every month now. There are 2 in London, I think 2 in Birmingham now. There's the Ireland one, which I think might be Belfast. There's the Glasgow one. Basically, they're all over the place. Adding another show to that list, I think they're already spreading themselves thin by having this many shows to coordinate. I'm not convinced that they can continue adding to that. Like, something's got to buckle at some point. What also gets me is this is obviously Gamer Mania, supposedly focused on video games. However, you look at MCM Comic Con, which they call Comic Con. You get maybe 3 people selling back issues. You get the Comic Village, which is 240 indie comic artists like myself selling their indie books. Yeah, that's comics. That's fine. But a lot of the show floor, and I mean a lot, is taken up by video games, sci-fi, Game of Thrones, and movies. So, like, the Marvel movies. But even, like, Minions was advertised at an MCM and had a good...
Minions.
Yeah, I know.
I liked Minions. I liked the movie. That was alright. It was a bad movie, but it was fun.
The thing that bugs me about Minions... It's just... Oh, sorry.
It's a show that doesn't really have much focus. It's trying to be everything at once. It's got a YouTube zone. Rooster Teeth go. Yogscast go. Go get stuff signed by your favourite Let's Player. It's trying to be everything at once, which means it's really watered down at times. Again, I enjoyed the show. I go, to a ton of them. I go to 4 or 5 MCMs a year, but I just think that these are guys who, the organisers of MCM, they've never come across to me as being fans first. These are businessmen. They saw a business opportunity and they're doing very well from that venture. Fair play to them, but they don't understand their audience because they're not part of their audience, if that makes sense. Like, if we were running a convention, we would be asking ourselves, would we enjoy this? If we were the attendee, would this benefit us? And we would make decisions based on that, and they would be, for the most part, smart decisions that would benefit the attendee. I don't think these guys are capable of asking themselves that question, because they've not been on the other side of it, so to speak. So I do worry that it is going to be watered down. Cost is also a concern to me, mainly because, and I think this is more on the attendees than the show, but hotel prices for MCM weekend are always through the roof. I mean, astronomical prices. And it's because, you know, nerds, we seem to repress ourselves all year, and then as soon as there's a convention, we've got no inhibitions, and people are running down the hotel corridors naked, screaming. There are people having parties out on the lawn outside the hotel until 3 frickin' a.m., and then they carry the party on in their hotel room. You know, people trash their rooms. For some reason, we go wild, and I don't know why. I don't know what it is about conventions that brings it out of us. But hotels just keep putting the prices up and up and up because of that. And also the fact that they put it up, we keep paying it. And 1 year, it was actually cheaper for me to fly to Arizona, stay with my friend Eric for 2 weeks, and attend Phoenix Comic-Con, and have spending money for that, than it would have been to have gone to MCM. MCM is currently only affordable because in previous years I've stayed with my friends Doug and Penny who lived in London. You know, usually I crash on someone's couch for it. Or you stay in a £20 a night hostel a couple of tube stops away. But then you are in a hostel, so, you know. It's so yeah, cost for this is a big concern.
Yeah. But on top of that as well, like, I mean, they've not really had, I don't know, I've only been to a couple of expos, and both times I wasn't impressed by the games that they had on display there. They just were games that are out already, basically. Like, I could go to...
No. I'll contest that. In May, I played a demo of Mighty Number 9, and they have delayed the release date and announced it as, I think, was February 9th for the US and February 12th for the UK. But they've also pushed the demo back. They've pushed back a demo that I played in May at MCM. So it's not always the case.
No, not always the case, but for the most part, I mean, the first time I went was the 2010 Expo, and...
not their best period. 2009 to 2012, they were a bit crap, to be honest.
Yeah, like, every game that I saw on display there was already out, apart from 2 games, one of which was the GoldenEye remake for Wii, and the other one was Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Okay. No, they are getting better at having games before release. For example, in May, they had the Steins Gate game for PlayStation a good while before that was out. They had, obviously, Dragon Ball Xenoverse and a few other bits and pieces over at the Namco Bandai store. They usually have quite a big presence. It has improved since 2010, which you'll see at the end of October, because you're coming to MCM, and I think it's a Sunday you're down, isn't it?
Yep, that's right. I'll be there on a Sunday because I don't fancy being part of the cattle market of Saturday.
Yeah, avoid Saturdays. I would say go Friday, but not everyone's set up on a Friday, but that is the quietest day when it's easiest to get about. I'll be there all weekend, so come say hi, talk about the British Gaming Podcast, buy a comic or two, you know, it helps. But no, I think that the UK does need a big games show. I think we've had things like EGX. We've had, what was the one that was at Birmingham? It was the same weekend as Kitacon. Not Kitacon this year, Kitacon the year before. And I walked across and had a look. It was at the NEC. I can't remember the name of it. That was pretty good. That was just games, but again, nothing really show-stopping. Yeah.
Well, the problem is something like this is always going to be not brilliant in its infancy, isn't it? Because it doesn't have the reputation. So I think maybe if we give it a couple of years, maybe it would be good. Maybe it would be a good thing. I think
what you'll get with this is a lot of bleed over, because, like, let's take Jim Lee, for example, superstar artist for DC Comics. if he went and did an independent comic tomorrow, the amount of people that would follow him on his name alone would be huge. And I think that's partly going to be the case with Gamer Mania, because what they do have is, you know, they've done so many MCM shows. Like, they've got to be in the triple figures for MCM shows. Obviously, they're promoting this through their MCM channels. A lot of people who go to the MCMs will probably end up picking up tickets for this. And they've got a lot of money behind them from the MCMs, a hell of a lot. So they've got a big budget. They could... And the XL venue is a huge venue, absolutely massive venue for it. So they can, you know, from day one, go full or go home, you know.
Yeah, I think
I doubt there'll be any half measures.
No, I don't. As you say, they'll be businessmen, so I mean, there won't be any half measures, will there?
No, I think they're just going to go for this flat out right from the get-go.
And I don't think necessarily having businessmen at the very top will always be a bad thing, because at least they've always got the connections and the money for it.
The only thing I say, as successful as it is, and as well as, you know, people do at those conventions, I just think it lacks a little bit of heart and soul, and it lacks a little bit of identity, which the smaller cons have in spades. And I think, Richie, if you were coming to MCM, you would see a huge difference between MCM and something like Western Supersonic.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm guessing they're a little more polished and a little less rough around the edges. That make them kind of charming. Well, that's what I think about Western Supersonic, because it's obviously quite new and it's only run by a couple of people. It's not brilliant. It's not fantastically well organised, but that kind of makes it nice. It makes it more enjoyable. You can see the passion behind it.
Yeah, I think the enthusiasm and the charm and the quirkiness of smaller shows, even things like Kitacon, which still have, you know, over 1,000 attendees, but they're run out of passion by non-profit organisations who are just fans that want to put on a really good weekend for everybody. I think you can feel that difference. I wouldn't ever sell at Kitacon. It's an anime crowd, and my stuff's, you know, more superhero-y. Just the wrong people to sell to. But also, people don't go to Kitacon to buy stuff. People go to Kitacon to have a good time, first and foremost. And if they buy something, it's a bonus. Whereas people go to MCM to empty their student loans. Like, I just got £1,500 in my bank account that's got to last me 3 months. Bugger it, give me anime toys. I used to be one of them, you know. Yeah. That doesn't happen anywhere else, really.
So, yeah, support your small local shows, and your small shows like the British Gaming Podcast.
Come and see us at Western Supersonic.
Yeah, support Western Supersonic. If you can get a ticket, because I don't know if they're gone already. You know,
I don't think they've opened to the public yet. I've had my
You've got your Kickstarter tickets. Yeah. I've got my Kickstarter tickets. Well, I've got my exhibitor ticket because I'm selling at that, and then I've got obviously Jo might want to come, so I've got her a ticket, and then I've got one spare just in case either of you two fucked up.
No, I've got mine.
You've got yours, Terry?
Yeah, I've got mine, although I'm actually checking my email inbox at the moment just to make sure I haven't lost it. It's a digital one, isn't it?
It is a digital ticket. You need to print it out. What I might do then, if I've got what's essentially a spare ticket, is I might actually email the organisers and ask... They don't like you transferring tickets without running it by them, so I might ask them if they... wouldn't mind me putting that ticket up as a prize on what would be our very first contest.
Oh, fantastic idea.
Ooh,
as long as they're okay with that, that'd be
I found my ticket, yay.
Yay. So yeah, potential future contests then would be win a ticket to Western Supersonic. I can't believe I came up with that on the spot. That's pretty good.
Travel included. Travel and accommodation not included.
Yeah, you'll need to get your own travel and accommodation. Speaking of things not being included, Rainbow Six Siege has no campaign.
You'd think we set that up together.
You would think. We didn't, but you'd think.
That was all you.
Yeah. Hey, we know each other too well. That's That's friendship right there, that is.
That is, yeah.
All right, if you guys can stop blowing each other. So you were saying about Rainbow Six Siege?
Yeah, basically, I think I said on the previous podcast, me and my other half set up a deal where to stop me buying any video games between now and Christmas, I gave her a list of 5 games I won, and she then had to pick one from that list, but not tell me which one it is.
How many is that list down to now?
The other 4. 3 games, I think we're now down to. Actually, there was more than 5 games on the original list, but yeah, I think about 4 have been chopped off recently. Rainbow Six Siege is gone because there is no single-player campaign. Now, people mock me for not for buying shooters for campaigns, but that's what I enjoyed in GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo.
Wait, you enjoyed the
Rainbow
Battlefield campaign?
Six games. Yeah, it was a campaign in Battlefild, yeah.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was alright, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was awful.
Okay, I was partial to it. I was, quite happy.
Fair enough.
I expected bang, bang, shoot, shoot for it to be a bit mindless, and that's exactly what I got, so I'm happy.
Fair play.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed the campaign in Rainbow Vegas 2. I played through that with Chaz, or James Chastney, as we've had on the podcast before, who I do some of my videos with. We played through it together, and it was a great co-op experience.
Yeah.
So,
oh, and apparently Terrorist Hunt, there's no offline Terrorist Hunt.
oh, well, that's killed it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can play it single player, but you still have to be online, apparently.
Not
Which,
on the beta,
you know what? Great. So, online-only Terrorist Hunt, no campaign. The game's off my list.
Yeah. I've been trying to play the closed beta. I was actually going to do a Let's Play of it. I can't... Basically, half the time I can't get onto a match, and on the rare occasion I do, it's unplayable because it's horribly laggy because they're using a peer-to-peer network for this, even though for some reason they've confirmed that it's going to have dedicated servers once the
dedicated
actual game
servers
is out.
at launch, but they don't want to be paying for those before they have to.
I know. So basically, their peer-to-peer network is just not properly managed, so therefore it just does not work. So
it still makes me wonder, I mean, if they're doing a beta test, right, surely one of the things they're looking at is connectivity and how the network operates.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Surely they want their beta to be how it's a reflection of the final product, which this won't be.
If it's meant to be a marketing tool, it's poor job.
The data they're collecting, if they're not using the dedicated servers already, then the data they're collecting is worthless.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, what data? They can't collect anything because no one can bloody play the thing.
We've had this many people drop out. Okay. Oh, look, people's pings are through the roof. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think also Call of Duty, the newest one, which I think is Black Ops 3, is it the newest one?
Yeah.
The PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 versions, the campaign isn't going to be on there at all. It's just going to be multiplayer. You'll need to get the PS4 or Xbox One version if you want the campaign. Now, I think this is a case of, we spoke before about Mortal Kombat 10 for PlayStation 3 getting cancelled, and you've got to have that cut-off point where you say, no, we're going to stop facilitating people like Richie and say, you've got to move forward, you've got to move on. I think this is one of those cases where they should have made that call. I think they should have just not put the game on that platform instead of getting rid of the single-player campaign. It also, this thing with Rainbow Six Vegas Siege? No, just Siege. It's not part of the Vegas series. Rainbow Six Siege and Call of Duty. What it says to me is that companies are putting more value on their multiplayer components than they are their campaigns, and that makes me genuinely disappointed in the industry.
Yeah, it's a shame, but you can kind of see it from their point of view, can't you?
People spend more time in the multiplayer. People are more likely to buy the game and never play the campaign than they are to buy the game and never play the multiplayer.
Unfortunately, we are in the minority now of people who prefer a story to a multiplayer game.
See, the problem I have is longevity. Like, at the moment with modern multiplayer games, they just don't last. For example, I can play Unreal Tournament Original perfectly fine. Unreal Tournament 3, can't fucking play that anymore. The way they're setting up these online games, they're basically setting it up in a way where you have to buy the next installment to carry on playing. They're intentionally screwing us over.
The Taken King.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can't do any of the double EXP weekends or anything without all the DLC and stuff.
Exactly. It's just fucking... It's bullshit. It really is. I mean, I can still play Counter-Strike 1.6 perfectly fine, but it's ridiculous when you got a game like Crysis 2 from just a few years ago you can't play anymore.
The other thing is, unless it's like a Grand Theft Auto, and even Grand Theft Auto, I've said Grand Theft Auto 5, if you're on PS3, Xbox 360, we're not supporting the online anymore, you won't get any of the updates from now on.
Yeah.
You have to be on PC, PS4, or Xbox One to keep getting the online updates. But a blockbuster game like GTA 5, it's, supported for quite some time. You try and find a match on Titanfall now. I mean, the servers are still there. But you try and find a match, you won't. There's no one playing it.
Oh, I can on
Everyone
PC,
deserted
but...
that game. People just seem to have deserted the Xbox One version in droves.
Yeah, and the 360 version. Did you know there's a 360 version?
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're not hanging around. I'm actually surprised that Dragon Ball Xenoverse still has as many people on it as it does.
Yeah.
It's about time, though, isn't it, for these consoles? We've said it before. It is about time.
It is. It's just a shame that there's so much focus in this online multiplayer experience. I'm a grumpy old bastard. I care about preservation. I won't be able to play a lot of those games. And also, because I'm a grumpy old bastard, I don't tend to have many friends outside of these two dickheads. So I don't generally... Even when you do have... there's a fair few people that I could game with. But we all have jobs and families, and you have to pre-plan your gaming session 3 weeks in advance to make sure that everyone can get on at the same time to form a crew.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Like you and Chaz trying to organise a gaming night. How fucking hard is that?
Organising those GTA videos we do is an absolute nightmare. That's why there's only one every 2 or 3 weeks. I'd love to do them all the time, but it's just
when
not
we
possible.
could game every single night? Like, every night, it was just pick up a phone. You want to play Soul Calibur 2? Fuck yeah, I want to play Soul Calibur 2. Does not happen like that anymore.
Feels like a lifetime ago.
The kids will go to bed about 7. I think the other half's popping out to the ponies, though, so I'll have to stay in and watch them. Is there any way that you can come to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, I think we've pretty much exhausted that.
I have decided I'm going to give Rainbow Six Siege a try after this podcast and see if I can get on there.
Okay, let us know the results. I'll be interested to hear it.
Yeah, I will do.
Yeah,
we'll do a follow-up next week for listeners as well.
One thing I will say about this transition over to online, though, is I'm glad they're kind of making up their mind. Like, I was sick of all the Call of Duties that would basically have a 2-hour campaign and then be focused online, and it's just basically... I thought that was a really deceptive tactic. At least now, Rainbow Six Siege is being, outright, look, we're focusing on online, this is online, you're not just going to get fucked over with a 2-hour campaign, you know what I mean?
No, you're just not going to get a campaign at all.
No,
which
but
in some ways is worse.
Well, no, I don't think it's worse. I think it's just more upfront rather than
I'd rather them just say, no, we're just not going to do it, rather than give you some fob off.
Yeah, I'd rather they do it right than... Yeah.
Try and keep you happy.
Well, at least that gives me the opportunity to say, well, you're not having any of my money.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. It allows you to make a more informed decision.
Yeah.
Speaking of money... Lego Dimensions. Have you guys seen the prices for Lego Dimensions?
I looked them up before the podcast because I saw your little note about them being expensive. £30 for those little bundles, the little figures.
Let's get to the starter pack first. So the starter pack, you get 3 minifigures. So it's Batman, Wildstyle, and Gandalf. You get the portal that they sit on, and I think you get the Batmobile as well. But it's not like the proper Lego Batmobile. It's this tiny little thing, and that starter pack with the game disc is $74.99.
It's just absurd money, isn't it?
Yeah, even things like Disney Infinity only went as high as $54.99. And that's with 3 big chunky figures, not 3 tiny little bloody minifigures. I think it's just because they're Lego. They figure, kids will want it and parents will buy it.
People will pay it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Lego games are good as a rule. Let's face it. So
yeah. Like the £30 packs you mentioned, essentially what you get is you get 2 minifigures, one of the mini vehicle things, and a level to play. And apparently the levels are only about half an hour to an hour long.
Jesus.
So £30 for an hour's worth of gameplay.
You want to know how much I spent on a Lego game, like the most I've ever spent on a Lego game?
£5?
£3.75.
Bloody hell. Admittedly, I spent more than that. I spent $29.99 on Lego Batman 3 when it came out, mainly because that's a game that me and my other half will play together, but also the kids can play.
And because it's got Kevin Smith as a playable character.
Yeah, there's that too.
I keep wanting to pick up Lego Jurassic World, because I know Sophie will play that with me, and it takes a lot to get her to play anything.
Exactly, right? Lego games are like the games your wives will play.
That's the plan, anyway. Whether or not it'll work, we'll see, but that's the plan.
Wait, her being wifey is plan? Because that's something you might want to run by her. She's not got a ring or anything yet.
Getting her to actually play the game.
Right, okay.
It's still £25 at the moment. Christmas sale will be here soon enough.
Even the Amazon Black Friday deals, it'll probably go down to about 15.
Yeah, true.
You just got to click very, very quickly. Just mash F5. No, so Lego Dimensions, for what it is ridiculously expensive, and I won't be buying it for that reason. I'm hoping it goes the way of Skylanders and Disney Infinity, in that, like, Wave 1 Disney Infinity figures are like £4 to £5 each now. And you can pick up Skylanders for £1 a go. You can just, like, pick up a basket, chuck them all in, spend maybe a tenner on a set. So I hope it goes very much that way when everyone sort of falls out of love with it. On the other end of the spectrum, we have Nintendo Selects, which is basically Nintendo's version of PlayStation Platinum. It's cheaper versions of games they've already released, and they just put them in slightly uglier packaging. They've already run this on the Wii with a few titles. Mario Galaxy, for example, is part of it.
Yeah.
They're bringing it to the 3DS. The games will cost between £10 and £20 each, depending on the game. The most exciting game on the lineup is Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, which I already have.
I really want to play it, but I didn't want to pay as much as they were asking. So actually, now that there's a Nintendo Selects version, I'll probably be picking that up at some point.
Yeah, make sure you do. That was a thoroughly enjoyable game.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
It looks amazing. It's just like I've never been able to justify the cash, if that makes sense.
Very fun mechanics as well. The between world stuff is very fun.
Going into the wall looks interesting.
Yeah, it makes for some interesting puzzles. Puzzles you hadn't really considered before. It throws
Good. I like me some good Zelda puzzles.
Yeah, well, they certainly rack your brain sometimes. So I think you'll get a good lot of enjoyment out of that.
Fantastic. Terry?
I get irritated with these repackaged things. It's just like, why not just redistribute them, but with the same freaking packaging? It's just punishing people for waiting a little bit longer.
Because, your friends and family have to know that you opted in for the cheap option and that you didn't support it at launch, because fuck you. That's how I see Platinum and Select casing. It's like...
See, I thought those were
okay,
going
you're going to get the game cheaper, but everybody's going to know, and everybody's going to judge
It's like their way of highlighting, of saying, look, you didn't buy this the first time around, you really should this time.
It's like their way of highlighting, you go into someone's house and you see a Platinum case on the shelf. Warning! Warning! Stingy bastard! But yeah. You will be buying your own dinner tonight because they will not feed you. You know this because they have a PlayStation 2 Platinum game.
I had a few Platinum games. They weren't that bad. They weren't stingy. They were just cheaper. I wasn't stingy.
And Terry loves Platinum games as a whole. They can't do any wrong in his view.
No, I'm looking forward to that new Transformers game, though. That does look pretty awesome.
And Star Fox Zero.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I'm really gutted that they've delayed it to 2016. But at the same time, I'm really glad that they're spending the time to make sure it's good. I'd rather them delay it than release something shitty.
And speaking of, Star Fox 3D is going to be one of these Nintendo Selects games on the 3DS. That said, I got my Star Fox 3D brand new on clearance from Tesco for $5. So
bloody hell,
yeah. Boxed and everything, so...
Wow.
Yeah, should we take a look at these fan questions, guys?
Yeah.
I'm just aware of time. Yeah. So, we covered Peter's. Thank you, Terry, for taking us completely out of order, but it did fit.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I didn't want us to go back and retread old ground too much. It was so relevant.
We're trying to be a little more organised than last week.
Yeah.
So, spoiler alert, Koshoro Guy isn't dead. Or at least he wasn't dead at the time he wrote these questions. He could, for all we know, have died between posting this YouTube comment and us answering it today. I hope he hasn't.
Is this going to be a weekly thing? He's going to have to reassure us he's not dead.
A weekly update, Koshoro's still alive. If anything ever happens to him, the police are going to have some weird questions for us.
That'll be a new segment on the podcast. Is Koshoro Guy alive this week?
We need to have jingles for our segments.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need a soundboard.
Yeah.
Right, so question 1. What are some of your favourite titles that are still mutually exclusive to one country? I've been thinking about this for a while. It's a Mega Drive game called Pulseman. It's a platformer made by Game Freak. And it's pretty goddamn fun. Japan exclusive as far as I know. And still doesn't seem to have come out anywhere else. It might be on the Wii Virtual Console here, actually, thinking about it. But yeah.
I'm going to have to pass. I haven't got a clue.
The only one I could think of that I've tried to play was the second Pokemon trading card game in the Game Boy era. I'm pretty sure that was Japan only. Yeah, it was Japan only.
Yeah.
I've tried to play it, but because I don't speak or read Japanese, wasn't really sure what I was doing. But
I've never even heard of that.
I think you can get a fan-translated ROM online.
Well, that I'm going to have to look... I'm going to have to hunt that down after this, or right now, in fact.
Like, screw waiting.
You guys carry on. I'm busy.
Okay.
Oh, I found it.
All right. Speaking of getting busy, his second question.
Oh, God.
If you had to fuck one male or female character, who would it be? Why that specific character? I'm going to go with Renoa. This is sort of like the video game crush question from a few weeks ago. I'm going to go with Renoa Hartley. She's got a really cute face. She's old enough, I think.
You hope.
And my type is petite brunettes and redheads, which Richie will definitely be able to testify, given some of the girls I've gone after in the past.
Yeah.
And Renault definitely fits like my type 100%. And also, this might sound weird, but I find her blue cardigan thing really cute.
I'm trying to think of an answer to the question.
Yeah, me too. I've been thinking
me and Terry
about this one all day.
Me and Terry were on Skype earlier this week, and we saw this question, and we were joking, just saying that you would probably come up with a really awkward answer. Like you'd be there, like just like
you say we. You was the one coming out of all this.
Yeah, just like expecting Richie to be awkward and say Solid Snake.
I was going to go
his
really.
Name.
I was going to go really dumb to start with, and just go Croc. Why not? Then I thought, is that funny? I don't think that's funny. It's just stupid. So I didn't go with it. But now I kind of wish I had.
I can see Terry going for Ava from Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. I mean, again, it's in the title, Snake Eater.
Actually, yeah, that's a good choice. I was just going to say one of the women from Mortal Kombat because it would probably be quite kinky, but yeah, no, good choice.
Really, with those teeth, have you seen what happens when they take the face masks off? Yeesh.
I don't know, I imagine Sonya Blade would be alright.
What about, like, one of the Dead or Alive girls? Like, Kasumi, or, what's her name? The one with the long black hair. Kokoro, I think her name is. Kokoro? She's like a Renault, but with bigger boobs.
I don't know, I'm more of an ass man than a boobs man.
There's nothing wrong with that either.
Oh, I don't know how to tell you this, but I just went on the Rule 34 website and looked at Croc, and there is a surprising amount of Croc porn out there.
Oh my god!
Why would you do this?
What is wrong with you?
There's one of there's a few images of Croc and Spyro.
Oh my god! Scalies are at it again.
Hang on, I'm going to send you the link to it.
No, please don't.
No, don't. Even if you send it, I'm not opening it. No. It's like Croc bopping a gobo.
You're going to have to click it now.
I'm not clicking it.
That's going to be the new euphemism now, popping a gobo.
Popping a gobo.
Do you think... Terry, did you look at it?
Oh god, I'm going to have to look at it now.
If you think that's bad, you should check out this one.
Oh my god.
Well, we're definitely on porn this week, aren't we?
Oh God, no! I'm not editing those pictures into the podcast video.
Ah, there's one of Croc and Gex as well.
Croc and Gex. Right, Richie, do you have a serious answer?
No, not anymore.
No.
I think we'll leave it there.
Okay. So question 3. I actually can't. Is Richie, stop sending links to Croc. What's the most overrated game that any of you have had the displeasure of playing?
Oh God!
What was the question? I wasn't listening.
Most overrated
What's the most overrated game that any of you have had the displeasure of playing?
Oh man.
Dota 2.
Dota 2, good answer.
Yeah, I don't see the appeal at all.
I'm going to go with Destiny. Destiny sucked.
Good answer.
Richie?
I'm trying to think.
Also Halo 4. Halo 4 was a bit shit.
Yeah, I'd probably say one of the later Halo games, Halo Reach. That was pretty terrible.
Halo Reach was pretty good.
Nah, it wasn't. It wasn't good.
We disagree on that.
I'm happy to disagree.
Okay. I'm just so glad no one said Shenmue. I would have had to have ostracized you if you just said Shenmue.
Would have had to pop their gobo.
I'm also going to go for Kirby and the Crystal Shards. It'll make me unpopular, but that was not a good game at all. Especially for a Kirby game, it just didn't have it. Question 4. What are some of your favourite game show series? He says the only ones he's ever watched are Crystal Maze, Nightmare, Countdown, Deal or No Deal, Takeshi Castle, Total Wipeout. I'm going to go with Fort Boyard.
Yeah.
Which,
fair,
if you haven't watched
that's quite a
it,
few. That's quite an extensive list.
Yeah, he's picked most of the ones I'd picked. I'd say Takeshi's Castle, definitely. And on a similar vein to that, Ninja Warrior.
Fort Boyard, Takeshi's Castle, Ninja Warrior. Terry, you want to add anything?
I'm going to go with The Chase just because it's hilarious when Bradley Walsh cracks up over some of the answers and questions.
Oh, yeah, Fanny Schmeller.
Yeah. Also, I still find it absolutely shocking. Like, all of the chasers, they each have their own nickname. And, yeah, I still find it shocking that they got away with calling the black guy the Dark Enforcer.
Oh, that is pretty bad.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I love that show so much that my Skype and Steam avatar is when Bradley Walsh is trying not to cry laughter at Fanny Schmeller.
There was 3 options and 2 of them were funny. There was Fanny Schmeller, and I can't remember what the other one was.
Oh, there was that other question as well, where it's like Dick Tingler and Willy Wacker. Whoever comes up with the questions, I swear they just do it on purpose just to make him crack up.
Of course I do.
I mean, he cracks up at everything, like when a guy was talking about how he loves a bit of sausage.
He's just got a one-track mind. We may as well name ourselves British Gaming Porn. It'd still be the BGP.
Yeah,
that's true.
No.
We wouldn't even have to change our acronyms.
If anyone's asking what's Fort Boyard, just YouTube a couple of clips. It's pretty decent. So what are some of your favourite shows from the 80s or 90s? I'm going to go with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Biker Mice from Mars, and don't judge me for this, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the live-action one, not the cartoon one.
Sabrina was brilliant. Love that cartoon.
So was Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah, what has she done lately? It's a shame.
Melissa and Joey, she's currently on, I think.
Fucking hell.
Meh.
Yeah. She does have a TV series still.
Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell, okay,
Fresh
yeah.
Prince of Bel-Air.
Keenan and Kel.
Oh god, Biker Grove.
Good lord.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z.
Pokemon.
Remember the Friends parody that they used to do on, I think it was SMTV Live? But Chums.
Oh.
No? No one else watched Chums?
No.
I can't remember that.
Me and Cat alone in the flat?
I remember the awful Pokemon raps that Ant and Dec used to do.
Oh god. And Wonky Donkey.
Fucking wonky donkey.
There's a bunch of people in the US right now like, I don't know what these British people are talking about.
And at that point I was just like, oh wait, I know Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. I used to have to race home from school because school would finish at 4. Dragon Ball Z would come on at 4:30, and it was a 40-minute walk home. So I used to run part of it just to catch Dragon Ball Z on Toonami. And then CNX after that. Although I think that was more 2000s and 90s for us, wasn't it?
I think it started in like the late 90s for us, but yeah, it was kind of on the cusp.
There was a Bill and Ted cartoon, I forget the name of it, but yeah.
Pretty much most of the cartoons on Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network at the time I enjoyed. I mean, we had Rocco
Johnny
Modern
Bravo.
Life.
Johnny Bravo, Ren and Stimpy, Two Stupid Dogs,
Two Stupid Dogs.
Cat Dog.
Absolute classic.
Freakazoid.
Powerpuff Girls. Yes, I liked it.
Please tell me you've never watched Powerpuff Girls Z.
I have, and it actually is kind of charming.
I thought it was awful, personally. I turned it off after about 10 minutes.
The artwork was beautiful, though.
Fair enough. Right. Shall we move?
Yeah, party games.
Question 6. Thank you, Terry. What are some of your favourite party games? He gives some examples like Mario Party, Fortune Street, and one that me and Terry quite like, Fusion Frenzy. Although I believe we played Fusion Frenzy 2 on the Xbox 360.
Douche.
That was a staple of any party at Terry's. And there's one where you're trying to knock each other off this circular stage, reminiscent of a Mario Party minigame, actually. And every time two people clashed into each other, we'd shout, douche. So we're playing, and all you can hear is just chanting of, douche, 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 douche. And then as the platform got smaller and smaller, obviously it was happening more often, so it's like, douche, 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 douche. Hey! Probably as British blokey as we've ever got.
Yeah. Other party games.
Mario Party 2. Terry hates it. Mario Party 2.
Oh, Mario Party just sucks. I'll tell you what's better. Crash Bash. That was amazing.
Fuck Crash Bash.
Oh, fuck you.
Claws are out here.
Here we
Friendships
go.
are going to be lost. Mario Kart 64. In fact, any Mario Kart, really.
Yeah, any Smash Bros.
Guitar Hero and Rock Band.
Nintendo Land's a good laugh every now and again.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
My favourite game on that Nintendo Land is the one where you have Mario and you have to try and catch him. There's all different people run and try and catch him.
Oh, yeah.
That is a fucking fun game, that is.
I like the dancing one.
I haven't played that one.
Oh, it's really fun. It's really simple as well, but the only thing is, the camera, it's just showing on your face and showing on the screens, and it's always the most unflattering angles when you got a controller on your face. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever seen a reflection of yourself when you're just laying down looking at your phone?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
And
always
you've
the
got
worst.
like a triple chin.
Yeah, it's always the worst angle.
For my answer for this question is the Jackbox Party Pack, because I've had many, many fun memories in the last few months playing that, and I cannot wait for the second
yeah, you
one.
mentioned about it when you went on a holiday with your family recently, and
Yes.
also we're going to give it a play when you come up in January.
Absolutely, we are, and it's going to be fucking hilarious.
We'll record it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. We've got still 4 more questions to get through, and I'm conscious of time. So, Lupacillo has asked us some questions.
Hey,
What are some of your favourite cartridge designs? Nintendo 64.
definitely, yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, and Mega Drive.
Nintendo 64 beats out Mega Drive, in my opinion.
You reckon? On what grounds?
It's chunky, it's got a nice solid presence, the curve on the top of it is really just lovely.
Are we still
elegant.
talking about cartridges here?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I was wondering.
You've got the smooth, carved in, dented lines either side of the sticker, which just frame the sticker really nicely.
We're definitely not talking about cartridges.
He's popping his
anymore.
gobo there.
The only thing I would say against the Nintendo 64 cartridge is that when they're stacked, you can't see which game is which leads to a lot of the time, if I'm looking at pre-owned games, which are cart-only, 9 times out of 10, someone's written the game title along the top of it in fucking permanent marker. Now, you can get that off by spraying some Lynx deodorant onto a chamois cloth, and just sort of gently massaging it away, and that'll get rid of the permanent marker. But yeah, apart from that glaring design flaw, the Nintendo 64 all the way.
I quite like the Sonic and Knuckles lock-on cartridge as well for the Mega Drive. I think that's very pretty.
That is a pretty cartridge. I also quite like the 32X cartridges on the rare occasion I get to see.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, they were alright.
I have no idea what they look like.
Okay, you have Google image search.
That's what I'm now doing.
Yeah. So, question 2.
Sorry, I had another one. The original Pokemon game cartridges, the ones that were coloured based on the version.
Oh, I would actually say the Pokemon Pinball cartridge was quite a weird one.
Yeah, agreed. Because had the little
the one with the battery.
Yeah, battery compartment and everything. It was like twice as tall as well.
Yeah. Just one little thing I just wanted to mention as well while we're on the subject of cartridges. You remember the Game Boy camera? And you remember the Super Game Boy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that set up in Regen one day, so I just walked in and saw the Game Boy camera thing on the screen. It was awesome.
Nice. I've got a Super Game Boy around here somewhere. I really need to eBay it because I don't have a Super Nintendo anymore. No, I sold my Super Nintendo ages ago.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, I just wasn't playing it. I didn't have the nostalgia attachment because I didn't get one until I was about 18 or so. So yeah, I was just sort of checking out what I missed out on, and I played everything I was going to play, and I was playing emulators more than the actual machines, so I got rid of it.
Fair play.
Yeah. So, also, can I just say, our Super Nintendo cartridges look so much nicer than the US ones.
Agreed.
It's actually quite a nice cartridge in and of itself, the Super Nintendo. That's a contender.
Yeah.
Also, our consoles look so much smoother and nicer than the ugly piece of shit they got in the US.
Yeah.
Seriously, that thing is fucking ugly.
Yeah, I'm so glad we got the Japanese one.
Oh, yeah. 100 times over. Alright, question 2. With October coming this week, any plans for watching scary films? No.
Yep.
Yeah, I love horror films, so yeah, definitely.
I can't stand them, personally. They don't do anything for me.
Well, I'm going to go through all of the Alien films and then do a playthrough of Alien Isolation that I might do as a Let's Play, so watch this space.
Okay. Tempting. Richie, what are you watching?
Oh, I don't know what I'll be watching. Probably whatever's on Netflix, or what I normally do is then have a browse on Amazon and see if there's anything catches my fancy. But
just don't watch Irreversible again.
Yeah, it's a good film. On the other hand,
to defend it.
Me and a friend have started playing through Soma. We're going to play it through together. That's a horror game, so that'll probably run us up to Halloween quite nicely because we don't get to play as often as we'd like to. So probably take us till Halloween to finish it.
You know what horror
I
film
might
you should watch,
replay the
Sam?
classic Resident Evils. Resident Evil 1, 2, 3.
You know what horror you should watch, Sam? Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah.
But
Now that is... Well, I wanted to burn my eyes out with bleach. Don't know what I'd have done about my ears, but, you know.
Yeah.
Taking care of part of it. Right, next question then. Number 3. Sam, Lucky Charms are tasty, but have you tasted the monster cereals? Count Chocula, Boo Berry, and Frankenberry. If diabetes could be packaged in a more pleasant box, I haven't discovered one yet. Sorry to disappoint, but I've not had any of those. I have, however, had Cinnamon Cheerios during my time in the US. Those were weird.
Yeah.
Well, I can add there. I know that question is addressed to me, but...
If that was an advert, that'd be a rubbish tagline. Cinnamon Cheerios. They're weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm quite liking the advertisement of if diabetes could be packaged in a more pleasant box. I haven't discovered one yet.
Yeah, I haven't tried any of those.
Anything? I don't know if you've tried any of those cereals. Or...
I haven't tried any of those particular cereals, no. Love Lucky Charms, though.
So far, we've got one question that's related to gaming, and 2 questions that aren't. Question 4.
I like Fruit Loops, though. Fruit Loops are nice.
Fruit Loops, there you go. Fruit Loops, right. Number 4. Despite the fact that England has banned overly sugary foods, I see a trend here, there's still some terribly sugary things you can find...
Bitter. No pun intended.
Right, let's get to the heart of this question. Where is it? There. Can the government really crack down on capitalist industries, or is it the same as in the USA? In the USA, capitalist industries are the government, companies rule, and politicians are their puppets.
Opening up a can of worms here.
Yeah, I think we're off the beaten path of video games. We do have controls on what foods we can and can't have. It's probably for the best. I mean, hell, when I did have Lucky Charms again, there were so many colorings in it, they actually stained the bowl I was eating from. Yeah. So yeah, I guess we can say to companies what they can and can't put in their food, and we regularly do.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think that's what he's looking for.
I mean, on the plus side, yeah, I mean, people can argue, oh yeah, they're taking away our right to eat such and such and X and Y. But on the plus side, it's, you know, companies that are still releasing these products, but with better, more wholesome ingredients rather than artificial ingredients. It works out better.
Yeah, they don't take them off the market; they retool them and re-release them.
Well, yeah, the government's not necessarily trying to stop us eating things; it's just trying to stop us, basically, bad parents poisoning their children with shit food.
Oi.
By changing branding and things like that, and making it so you can't advertise high sugar sweets in the evenings on kids' channels and stuff like that. It's just, it's just being sensible, really. They can only do so much.
Let me tell you, when a small child wants something badly enough, for God's sake, sometimes you just want to give it to them to shut them up. And I know that sounds like lazy parenting, but you have not had a 3-day barrage of "I want."
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's a difference between just giving them that because it's easier, or giving him because you just want the headache to go away.
Oh god damn it! Sorry, I just accidentally clicked on Richie's last link that he sent over, and ugh.
Oh dear. I can never play Croc again.
I've actually spent the whole time we've been talking browsing that website. I've seen some very weird things this evening.
Whatever you do, there was an evening at Terry's where basically Alex, one of Terry's friends, he's been on the podcast before actually, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Decided that he was going to go through Rule 34. Don't go to the Sonic section.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think anyone who's familiar with Rule 34 probably knows that by now.
Yeah. Just don't go on the website.
Yeah, no. The biggest regret I have that I've ever seen is Chobits.
Oh dear.
I can't look at Sumomo the same again.
No, yeah. I think that gets really bad at conventions as well, because there was a time where people weren't obligated to cover up NSFW stuff.
Oh, God.
So there were a couple of occasions where I set up my stall, sat down, and opposite me for the entire weekend was an A1 poster of Naru Sagawa from Love Hina, just completely spread out.
Oh, God. Oh, and
I can't read Love Hina again.
Oh, God. Does the Yaoi guy still go to Expo?
Yeah, but he's been told to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah.
And he's also got, you know, those like shame sleeves they put on FHM and Nuts and stuff in stores now.
Oh,
He's got like the shame sleeves and warnings on the stuff now too.
Oh,
that doesn't stop people selling the full body pillows.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and it doesn't stop them selling the tittered gel mouse mats. It's like one of those gel mouse mats for your wrists, but the gel bit is 2 boobs.
Okay, I kind of want one of those.
And the rest of the mouse mat is just a character's
I don't see
face.
the problem here. I'm not seeing the issue.
Oh, God. No, the Yaoi guy, it just cracked me up when I saw him, because he just pointed to some girls like, you need Yaoi. And they were like, oh, maybe we do, and just walked over.
He's right, we do need Yaoi. He got in trouble one year because he was just yelling things out. He was like whacking the paper to make noise as he did it. He had like one in his hand who was just like slapping it with this Yaoi paddle just to make a noise and get people interested. And he was shouting, Naruto and Sasuke, butt stretching fun over here. Naruto shoves his corn dog right up Sasuke's ass over here today only.
God. Oh, there was this other stand where these guys were selling a mixture of yaoi, yuri, and other hentai. And basically, I was with Peter and Alex. They're just like, "You should go buy one." I was like, "Oh, fuck it, all right then." And then I got there, and I just grabbed one and just paid for it without even looking at it properly because I was just like, "I just want to get the fuck out of here."
You bought yaoi.
And the guy that sold it to me, he gave me the most judgmental look ever, and I was just like, thinking, what the fuck, dude, you're selling this, don't judge me. But then later on I had a look at it and it was so lowly. It was just, if that's the correct word, lolly.
Lolly,
yeah. And I was just like, I ended up chucking it
not
away.
That I'm familiar with I am familiar with the terminology, but not for perverted reasons. You attend enough Comic-Cons, you end up figuring out what these things mean.
You spend enough time on the internet in general, on games forums, anime forums, shit like that, you know what this stuff means.
I didn't know what yaoi was while you were talking, so I've googled it, and now I know what it is.
Yeah,
now I'm very aware.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to delete my browser history.
Hey, if you want to be a bit happier, look up Yuri.
History. Went round Terry's house once. I can't remember what we were
oh, for
searching.
God's sake! There was a reason for this. I was looking to troll someone. Okay.
Yeah, sure. As soon as we typed T, Google autocomplete came up with the top result of being Tinkerbell porn.
Yeah.
Someone had searched Tinkerbell porn on his PC before.
I had a friend whose nickname was Tinkerbell, and she kept pushing that nickname, and I was just like, you know what, fuck this. So I was going to send her something, but then I never got the chance to because she went offline.
Yeah.
No, you never got the chance to because she had gone offline by the time you were finished.
I hate you guys.
Anyway,
no, don't make that the ending topic. We got to mention something else before we end.
I was just going to say, we do appreciate the fan questions. I appreciate I said they're not very game-related, and they weren't very game-related, but that's okay. You can ask us pretty much whatever you like. We are very appreciative of fan questions and fan engagement. So if you've got anything for next week, let us know. Equally, the game I mentioned at the start of the podcast, talk about the ending without any names or any spoilers, and see if people can guess. For example, one of the most popular ones on that thread, no matter what you've done throughout the entire trilogy, your choice comes down to the big glowy red thing, the big glowy blue thing, or the big glowy green thing. I was expecting a reaction out of Terry that never came.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So if you've got any of those, put them in the comments, and at the start of next week's show, we will try and guess what games those endings are to.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, then. Well, in the meantime, thank you very much for listening. I've been Sam. Over there is the ever-awesome, ever-elegant, ever-glasses-wearing Richard Savage.
Well, until you said glasses wearing, I thought you were talking about Terry.
Nah. And over there is the guy we've not quite been able to shake off our leg, Terry Kane.
I don't want to say anything else. Let's just go.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.